This is Ben from Common Knives, and you're listening to the High Carbon Podcast.
Welcome, everybody. Paulie's sick tonight. I think he caught a cold or something while he was out skiing. But we do have a guest, so we're going to jump right in with the guest. He can take Paulie's spot. We got Ryan Coakley tonight. How was your week? What'd you do?
I made knives and I shoveled snow. Yeah, lots of knives, lots of snow. Smoked a bunch of cigarettes. And today I'm making homemade chili.
Is that like your signature dish? Do you do the chili all the time?
No, but it's a good, like, once in a while when it's real cold. It's nice to have a hot bowl of chili.
Do you cook a lot at home?
I try not to because I cooked for a job for years. But so in our house, my wife will make like all the sides and stuff and I'll cook the proteins. So I'm the meat cooker.
The proteins. When did that become a thing to say?
When you work in a kitchen. I think that's kitchen terminology.
When I'm cutting my proteins. I think that just sounds funny.
What's that? Just meat?
Yeah, meat. Yeah, chicken, pork, beef, deer.
Okay.
It's meat. Fish. I don't eat a lot of fish, though.
Funny, I never say proteins. Do you, Keith?
No, I don't think I've ever seen proteins once in my life about if I talk about cooking, but I don't cook anyway. So, but I see it a lot on like the Instagram people when they're posting about their knives and stuff. I don't know, maybe it sounds a little fancy or something.
I have to cook because I make chef knives, and according to Fader, if you don't cook and you make chef knives, then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, you're a meme, right? That was the meme he uploaded like today.
Yeah,
or
that
yesterday.
was a meme. Yeah, I do cook though. Actually, not to toot my own horn, I'm a fucking fantastic cook, by the way.
You did that for a job, you said?
Yeah, for a long time.
For how long?
10 years.
Oh, holy shit. Okay. So you have been a professional and trained chef then?
I wouldn't say a chef. I worked for corporate restaurants, but I've been in the shit in busy restaurants, and it's a controlled chaos. And a lot of guys that have done that for a job do well at knife making because you're able to, just kind of tunnel vision.
A shitty ass job to have. Is a good friend of mine is a chef also, and they always have stupid hours. Like you never have any weekends off. You're always working when everybody else is off, like on holidays and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, it's a shit job. You're a slave. You're underpaid. You're underappreciated. Yeah, it's terrible. That's why I got out. I was tired of it. And it's a young man's game.
Yeah, he even goes in like in the morning, and then they send him home for like 2 hours at lunchtime, and then he go back again and work. I don't know, till 6 or 7 at night or whatever.
Yeah, split shifts.
Couldn't pay me enough.
When I was a manager at Ruby Tuesdays, I would get there. So on inventory day, I would get there at 5 a.m. and I wouldn't leave till like 7 or 8 p.m.
Yeah, but you like making the same exact shit like every day, right? Working at those chain restaurants.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you memorize the menu, and they're busted up into stations, and usually whichever station you're best at is what they'll stick you on most of the time. So like the same guy grilling your steak isn't frying your fries. You know what I mean?
You just have like one guy that does all steaks and that's it?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Ruby's was a little slower. The busier the restaurant, the more people you'll have on the line. So like Ruby's, we'd have 6 to 7 on the line. There'd be 2 or 3 on the busiest station, then 2 and 2 on the other 2 stations. And then Applebee's, we ran a 10-man line all the time. Nuts and butts, dude. You're ass to ass with your homie in the sweatiest, nastiest environment possible.
So you probably didn't have like your fancy like chef's knives roll with you at Ruby Tuesdays and stuff, did you?
No, they only allowed us to use their knives.
Like Cutco or something?
No, they were $6 fucking pieces of shit because they had molded plastic handles and they could guarantee the sanitation on them. So,
but was that before you started making knives?
That was a while before I started making knives. That was probably 5-6 years before I started making knives.
Yeah, a few friends of mine are chefs also, and it's very hard to keep an active social life, right? Because usually your friends have free time when you have to work, especially with the split shifts. I mean, you can't do shit usually for 5 to 6 days a week. So
yeah, you work every holiday, every weekend.
Yeah,
because that's when restaurants are the busiest, when people have the day off and they're going out.
But honestly, that's what we all three of us are doing right now anyway. But at least it's for ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can
Uh,
leave my job whenever I want to, or leave the workshop whenever I want to, right? So that's a bit different because you can't just leave at a restaurant if you're on your shift, right? So
Yeah. Now, at least now we have the luxury. Like, if we wake up, we can be like, meh, I ain't doing shit today. If you want.
one of the huge like things in the food industry, or at least restaurant industry, like drugs are really prevalent from what I hear anyway. People like going on binges so they can work 16-hour shifts. And did you run into stuff like that too? I mean, not you personally, but is that true statement or?
Oh, absolutely. Line cooks are degenerate scumbags. Like, I got trained at Applebee's by a guy who was high on bath salts.
Bath salts.
I'm like, what is up? Did you guys hear about that over there?
yeah, sure. It used to be legal, right? Or maybe it still is. These bath salts.
I'm not sure the legality of it. I know it's illegal now, but
Mm.
there was some shady importing things with it because you could order it right from China.
Okay.
And
How
then
trustworthy.
right,
Okay.
and then some idiot was like, "What happens if I smoke this shit?" And then people started going crazy. But yeah, I was trained my first day at Applebee's by a guy. I found 2 of my cooks out in the parking lot shooting heroin one day. That was kind of, I was like, what the fuck are you idiots doing?
Fuck.
Oh yeah, it's all over the place in kitchens. And the weird part is those guys are usually the best cooks or the worst cooks. There's like no in between with them.
Mm-hmm.
It was usually the uppers guys that were the best cooks, I think,
Okay.
though.
Mm.
Yeah,
So where did the bath salt guys fall in?
That's an upper. So
Okay.
they were moving. Yeah. We had a fry cook falling asleep into the fryer one day. He was just holding the basket and like nodding towards the fryer. It's also worth keeping in mind that Maine especially was targeted in the whole opioid epidemic. So it was exceptionally bad here.
Why is that?
Why were we targeted?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe because it's a rural area, or I don't know. There's a lot of documentaries out there now about it. But Maine was hit as exceptionally hard.
That was like the rave capital when I was younger. Everybody drove to Maine.
Is it still the case, or did things change in Maine?
Depends. Now it's mostly centered in cities where the policies enable it. So like Bangor, Portland, Lewiston, there's a much larger homeless population than there was 20 years ago. And most of them aren't from here, and I would say 95% of them are hooked on fentanyl.
So I gotta ask, now that I've listened to you talk on your podcast for a while and here and talking about Maine and stuff, are you like trying not to speak in the Maine accent while you're talking to us, or do you not talk that way? Like we were, I know how it sounds like, but maybe for you guys who don't know the Maine accent, sometimes you can see Instagram posts and reels and stuff the way that you guys talk.
Yeah, when you see, like, I'll repost a guy named Tegan who makes like Maine reels, and his accent's very accentuated, and I think for most of us it's on purpose. The only like, it's on purpose, like we accentuate it because it's funny. This is how I talk all the time,
Okay.
Occasionally I'll slip and say "ka," or something, but other than that, the only people who talk that way naturally are older people from the coast. We call them downeasters. But
Well, they had
yeah.
that show on was it called like Down East Dickerin or something like that?
Oh yeah, down East Dickerin.
I don't know if they were laying it on thick or not, but those guys had the accents for sure.
They're in the right age range for the accent to be genuine, but I do think that they were accentuating it for the show. But Dickerin is it's a tradition here. Negotiating and doing tradesies and working deals. Dickerin, Bob. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not making a deal, then nobody's respecting you.
Yeah. We're always dickering. What you gotta have for that? Oh, what you gotta have for that, Bob? Yeah.
Well, Albert, you thought we were gonna forget about it, but we skipped over you. How was Albert's week?
Didn't do much. We've been we've been sick most of the week, so
Did he have to cancel classes? Or
no, we didn't have any classes. Luckily, no. And he's been really sick. I wasn't feeling too well either, so we didn't do much. I mean, bit of sharpening, a little bit of knife making, a little bit of prototyping, and that was it. Didn't do much. What about your week? Have you been busier?
But I wanted to ask you because last week you talked about your working on the J hook grinds, and you showed
Yeah.
a picture on Instagram.
Yep.
The ones that I've seen, I think from Meerschot, seemed like they were closer to the edge. Is it just different styles, or did you find like a specific reason why you set yours up higher?
I mean, usually you say something between 10 and 50 millimeters up. So, and that the one I made is a bit higher, but it's still in the range. But what I found out is that a lower hook grind makes for a better food release. Yeah. So you're right. The lower, the better the food release is. Because I was testing a lot of these hook knives at home, even without handles and stuff. So just the hardened and sharpened blade. And it makes for a better food release, but it cuts into the food easier if it's a bit higher. So it's a compromise, like everything else in knife making, right? So this I did a lot last week, testing these knives because I was
Testing.
home a lot. Yeah,
Cutting your proteins.
I cut my protein, so I was cutting vegetables mostly. Yeah,
But I think one of the disadvantages for the people who put it way down low is that kind of gets washed out eventually after sharpening enough. I mean, some people sit
Yes.
it really low.
Yeah,
Then you have to like reprofile the whole knife.
yeah. So that's also a compromise. Yeah, that's right. But with the hollow at the other side of the blade, it makes for a very, very nice slicer. So it cuts pretty well because it's so thin.
So you're putting a hollow. If you're right-handed, you're putting your hollow on the right-hand side or
If
the
I'm
left-hand side.
no, the left-hand side, yeah,
Left-hand side, yeah.
on the opposite side of the hook.
Have you ever seen this grind before, Ryan? The hook grind?
No, I haven't.
Hang on, I'm gonna send you a message.
Shear knives. He was a past guest on our show. He does them also, but he does them closer to the cutting edge. I think a lot closer. I still don't completely understand. It was easy to see on yours, but on the one from Meerschot, when he does it really close to the tip, it's really hard to see exactly what the grind looks like, and I still don't understand how you get that like tight hook into the grind. And you're doing it on a radius platen, so you're using like the edge of the platen, or
No, the hook I'm doing on the contact wheel. So if I flip the grinder and I use the edge of the contact wheel to get in the hook. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, I get it. So you're flipping it horizontal.
Yeah. I'm flipping it horizontal and then I use the edge of the contact wheel to get the hook in.
Mm-hmm. Letting the paper hang off the side of the contact wheel so you can kind of round it a
Yeah,
little bit.
with finer grids you can do that, but not with 36 or 60 grit because you won't get a rounded corner.
Yeah,
you would get a sharp corner if you did with a coarse grit. But with a fine grit you can round off the corner. I sent you the video, Ryan.
So it's kind of like a very tight diamond grind.
Yes.
But instead of going along the spine, you're going along the cutting edge, which is where it should be anyways if you want it to actually do anything. Look at your dust collection in the background, bro.
It's not just dust collection, it's for the oil mist from the power hammers.
Yeah, that's slick. I like that.
So my week I had something interesting happen. A friend of mine, somebody that he works with, had picked up a knife, or he told me that this guy had a knife blank and he thought he was going to put a handle on it himself, and he hasn't got to it in years. And so he asked if he could bring him over and they could pick out some handle material from my supply and have me put the handle on for him. So the guy comes over. He's got a traditional Austrian like lederhosen knife. It's a Nika knife, and it's usually a horn handle, some kind of bone or antler. And he shows me the knife, and I ask him where he got it. He bought it at like some street festival or something. So this guy had a stand and he was selling like blanks from Pakistan or something. It was horrible. This thing looks like car bumper steel and like dishwasher metal or something. I don't know, from a washing machine. It's horrible. The grinds are really bad. It's obviously like he told me the guy had it put a handle on it when he bought it, but it was horrible and you could see spaces underneath it and like you could see air through it. I'm like, of course you can. Look at the way this thing's ground. It's like no 90-degree corners on anything. Nothing's flat or parallel. I'm like, this is like, you probably can't even harden this knife. And he goes, no, the guy told me he makes it out of old files and he collects them, and then he makes the Damascus from files, and this has been hardened. And so I'm like, all right,
Not all files are good knife steel, though.
exactly. Some of them are only case hardened, so it's only like the top layer of it that gets hardened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you don't know what steel is in it. They're all different. In the U.S., there was now I can't remember the name of the file. There was a good file company that people would search for these ones.
Star it.
I can't remember the name of it. No. I would have to look at my files. They're all hanging next to me, but I'm freaking blind and I can't see them. But anyway,
it's right on the top of my head too. I know what you're talking about.
It'll come to me in the middle of this conversation probably. But anyway, so I get the file home and told the guy the price and whatever. I get the knife home and take a file to it to square up the edges, and it cuts into it like butter. So I call the guy back and tell him that it's not hardened, and if he wants me to put a handle on it, it's just going to be something you look at because it won't hold an edge. But the guy wanted to go through with it anyway, so I did that up quick today and finished to get that thing out of here. But sometimes you get some people, they just think that they know better for some reason, even though doing this for like 18 years. But
yeah,
he was 100% positive. No. Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't a friend of friends, then I would have not even taken it home. I wouldn't even have told him I'd put a handle on it because I really don't even have time to do it. But I did it for the guy.
A buddy of mine wanted me to restore a straight razor recently, and I said, "Have you looked up the value?" He's like, "It's like a $300 or $400 straight razor. It's super nice, but it's old and it's got some patina on it." And I said, "If I touch that thing, it's going to wreck the value. Nothing I do is going to increase the value." He's like, "Oh, okay."
Nicholson files. That's the one I was
That's
thinking
it.
Of.
Yep. See, you knew you would get it in the middle of the conversation.
Yeah.
I knew I would. This is like the early Alzheimer's kicking in. So
yeah, I'm not a huge fan of file knives. I've got some big Farrier's rasps that I've annealed and they're ready to use, but I don't know. It's not my jam. It's not what I do anymore. I like known steel.
There's a female knife maker in New York who only makes knives from what's it called? This horse?
Farrier rasps.
Farrier rasps, yeah.
Yeah, she gets like $800 a piece for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a market for them, but you got to be at like the right place, like some craft fairs and stuff like that, horse shows. I don't know.
Yeah, and you have to be exceptional at marketing yourself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because for $800, you could get a really, really nice known steel, or Damascus chef knife.
Yeah, it has to be like the look that you want, because obviously if you're gonna spend all that time making a knife, you just spend like $10 and get some real steel.
Yeah. It's definitely a certain aesthetic. I made one that was like a field knife, like a competition chopper almost, like a couple years ago, and it was an awesome knife, and it etched super nice. It came out super dark, but it's just not my thing.
Have you ever tried to make one out of it from a file?
No, I never used mystery steels. So right from the get-go, I bought proper knife steel from trustworthy companies and suppliers, because I thought, I mean, it's not the material that makes the knife expensive, right? It's the labor you put into it. And then why not just use like proper knife steel right from the get-go? Because it's steel, I mean, high carbon steel is not very expensive. So usually pay like
these
10
rasps,
to $50. Yeah,
they're not cheap.
See, so it's even more expensive, the material. Yeah, which makes even less sense, in my opinion, to use it. So no, I was never a big fan of mystery steels, but of course there's so much bullshit out there. I mean, when we do fairs or Christmas markets and stuff, there's always a few people who come to our booth and say the best knife steel is like from a file, right? So the best knives are made out of a file or whatever. I mean, I don't know where these people get this information from, but yeah.
Forge and fire.
And
yeah, probably.
Watch too much TV.
And if you're us, what do? You know, do you tell them how stupid they are, or do you just nod and go, "Oh yeah"?
No, that's I'm not gonna tell them how stupid they are, but I'm gonna tell them how wrong they are.
Albert loves those conversations, though,
No, I hate these conversations. No.
to try and change somebody's point of view. That's what you like to do.
Yeah, but they don't change their mind. That's my point. It's like discussing or arguing with someone on Facebook or Instagram. So
Yeah.
nothing will change their mind, right? So it's pointless. I think most of the
That's
time.
like the same conversation I had with this guy about the snake and knife.
Yeah,
He
see?
wasn't gonna change his mind anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah. Other than that, I got GripX blocks cut and put online, and I'm working on a Helios for Fingal. So he wanted a bigger forge. Asked me if I could get the Helios made for him. You guys have one in your shop that you've been using for a little while. This thing is bigger than I thought it was.
But Fingal is gonna assemble it himself, right? You're shipping the parts. Are you shipping the
all
assembled?
the steel and the blower motors and the gasket and stuff. He's got to order the bricks and assemble it. Yeah.
Where did you get the files from?
From Brian.
Is it the same files we have?
I think you guys had it was in Freedom Unit still. This one's in metric.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Because this was so much work cutting all these bricks because it's not metric. So our plans were not metric.
Yeah, I think the still the big downside with that and the Apollo is the doors. So you guys
Yeah.
came up with an idea. I think that's the best idea. I was thinking on kind of something the same way. I wasn't sure how I was going to do it yet, but Andy sent me pictures. You guys, I mean, it's a super easy fix. So
Yeah.
so what you did is just use a round rod on the threaded rod and
Mhm.
welded a piece of steel over to the door, so all the weight is on the threaded rod and not pulling on some shitty ass hinges.
Exactly. Yeah. The hinges broke, so they only lasted like a few days. So that didn't
Yeah.
work because first they get stuck, so the doors won't open or close depending on where they got stuck.
Yeah, that style hinge, the little weld-on tab thing is like if you use two of them, they get stuck like the first time you fire it. If you use one, the door is way too heavy and it just like starts hanging in one direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a pain in the ass. I wish it had a door that like dropped straight down. I like that style where the door drops down and it's kind of like a plate to rest your tongs and shit on.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Like the
I'm sure that
Paragons,
Fingal
the
will
Paragon
figure it
heat
out.
treat oven.
Yeah, just like the Paragon. That's the one I was thinking of.
Or Alex Steele made a forge or built a forge once with a door like this, right? Did you see that?
I didn't see that one, but I like the one. If you've seen the video from Gabe Fletcher, guest from last week, the way he was talking about it, where it's like balanced on counterweights.
Yeah, why didn't you tell me you had Gabe on the week before me? How am I going to follow that guy?
No, you
I
have
don't know
to.
yet. Step it up. Get it done.
Do you want to get political, Ryan?
Hey, it's your show. I'll do whatever. I don't care.
No. But I wanted to ask you, since you've been podcasting for a long time and you took the Hustle and Grind podcast from a mediocre show and turned it around to probably one of the best podcasts about knife making out there. How
Oh, thanks, buddy.
how are some of the challenging things about podcasting, like aside from bad sound quality and the stupid program losing somebody's recordings and shit? What kind of challenges and stuff did you come across trying to get the podcast up and going again?
Trying to book guests that are cooler than me is challenging. You know what I mean? Because everybody not cooler than you obviously wants to be on your show, but everybody who's cooler than you, it takes a little bit more finagling to get them on. Noah my co-host would say that I'm a tad bit aggressive, but I don't think so. It works. I have a method.
Yeah. So does he like restrict you from some of the things that you can talk about on the podcast?
Fuck no, I do what I want. It's my show. Obviously, I try and stay respectful, and I know when I'm making him uncomfortable. So I'm like, usually I'll try to be a good boy, because we don't want to lose any listeners. We obviously don't want to alienate any part of our listener base. But sometimes I like to say wild shit. It's kind of fun. I said last week that we were guessing which one of the makers in the community like feet.
I heard that.
Noah hated that segment. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, I wish we recorded video. Yeah, so you could see Noah's face while me and Trey were talking about foot fetishes. Oh, it was so good. But yeah, other than that, time zones can get tricky. Like, we can't have as many Australian guests on as we would like, because they're literally the next day. Like, they're in the future as we're recording. So it's like our record time is 6 a.m. Monday, Australia time. So that can be a little tricky.
We ran into that with DB Blades, and yeah, I think he was up, like you said, 6 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning, something like that for us to record.
Yeah.
Which is a little crazy to ask somebody to do that, but he did it.
Yeah, we had Adam Solari on from Australia, and he did it. And then Ben's Cuts. He was on the one episode I wasn't there, but he's a little whiny baby about doing the 6 a.m. So he hasn't been on since because he's a little whiny baby about it.
What about like audio quality? Do you run into issues? Like, do you guys ever take like phone call guests?
Oh, fuck no, dude. It sounds so bad. There's no way to make it sound good. So, like, I have the stipulation with anybody, you have to have a good internet connection and you have to do it on a computer. You don't have to download anything. It's just like you guys are using Zencaster now, so you send the link, they open the link and join the room. It's easy. But even we tried doing video for a while, and there's too much bandwidth, and almost every episode is a pain. So we can see each other when we record, but we don't record the video anymore.
Yeah, that's an option we didn't have on the other program we were using, but with Zencaster, you can choose to record the video with it or have the video, but it doesn't record, which is nice to see the other guests, so you kind of know when somebody wants to talk or they have something to say. You can kind of read the room a little bit better.
Yeah, it helps. I like it, but podcasting is weird. It's harder than people would think it is.
Yeah, and showing up every week, finding something to talk about, finding guests, stuff, yeah.
Mhm.
But how did you guys meet?
Me and Noah,
Yeah.
he was so when I was just the co-host with the old host of the show, we had Noah on as a guest, and he crushed it. And then Noah and I were really similar in a lot of ways, but we're very different in a lot of ways. We have very different like upbringings, so it adds a good balance to the show.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want two guys that are exactly the same.
How different?
Oh, Jesus.
Or is that too personal question?
No, I mean, the listeners know I'm not religious at all. Noah's very religious. I tease him all the time. I tell him he's a square because are you familiar with that term, Albert?
Yeah. Mm.
Okay. Yeah.
Ever since
Noah's a square.
Pulp Fiction, everybody knows what a square is, I think.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's just, he's a good old boy. He's going to be like, thanks for fucking talking all kinds of shit about me on the high carbon.
And how long have you been doing this together?
It'll be 3 years in September. Noah and I together, we're well over 200 episodes.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, we don't talk throughout the week because it affects the podcast. So
good point. Yeah. Keith,
if we
that? You hear that?
So you don't want to talk to you anymore?
No. We should delete the podcast chat.
We Noah and I make a point, like obviously we don't ignore each other, but we don't conversate a lot during the week because it affects the podcast. Because then we're just sitting there like, cool. Having guests helps too, because we can focus on them. Because neither one of us are real like spotlight kind of guys.
Yeah, Albert. Same thing with Albert and me. That's why we got Polly on here. He could talk about anything, as you can tell from some of the past episodes.
Yeah, and he will talk about anything. So,
yeah,
which sometimes is a problem. But yeah,
what was that episode you two were arguing on? I can't remember, but I listened to it and I remember taking a side, but I can't even remember the argument now. It was recently.
Paulie and I.
Yeah,
the handmade versus production.
Oh, like where do you draw the line at handmade?
Yeah. Draw the line in the sand. Draw the line in the sand. That's what Paulie asked me to do. And then we had another recording where we went all nerdy on this topic, but we lost the audio. So that was when Ben Kamon was on.
Yeah, Ben said Ben was the same way as you, Ryan. He just started talking to us and he had his opinion. He's like, if you guys want to talk more about it, he'd love to be on the episode. And so we invited him on. And that was the last time we used the other recording software because we lost him. And a couple weeks before that, we had lost an interview with Josh Prince. So we got to do that one again with him.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty good, but it's hard, like, when you lose it to go back and do it again because then you don't, like, remember what to talk about or you've already talked about everything. So it's not really a surprise. You get a different reaction from each other, like when you hear something for the first time. Got to leave like we got to wait maybe a month or two and then contact him again. Make sure that the episode still sounds fresh and not like all rehearsed.
Yeah, we've had to scrap episodes and then re-record them the next day, and it's very disingenuous to bring up the same shit and pretend like your reactions are the same,
Yeah.
but it happens. As far as that topic goes, I mean, it's a spectrum, right? You know, and the market is a spectrum. So I don't think, to quote Trey from last week's episode, I don't think we should be yucking anyone's yum
That was a good one. Yeah.
over how they make knives. You know what I mean? Pauly is right on the line. If you were to draw a line in the sand between handmade and production, Pauly's big toe is like touching that line. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's kind of probably where I'm at. I might be like 2-3 steps behind Pauly because I'm not like fully CNC integrated with handles and sheaths and stuff. But
Well, so
if
how
you
far
wanna
do you take it? You mean?
Yeah. Do you use a CNC machine for something?
I don't even own one. No, all my bevel, I still cut blanks out by hand with an angle grinder.
But why
When
are
I
you then
do,
2 steps behind Pauly? I mean,
because I would say because of the quantity.
quantity wise, okay. Mhm.
Yeah, mine are still hand ground, hand shaped. If I'm doing heat treat and grinding services for another maker, they usually send me blanks that are water jet or lasered or however they want to have them cut. But no plasma. Don't send me plasma blanks.
But how many knives do you make a year? Let's say 2025. How many did you make? Do you have a rough estimate?
Do you include ones that I heat treat and ground for other people?
Let's say yes. And then
What percentage of completion did you have? No, go ahead.
So since October, I've probably made 80 knives start to finish, handles, sheaths, everything. And whoa, I'm probably floating around 400
holy shit.
heat treat and ground since
Okay.
October to now.
Okay. Mm.
But a lot of those are for other people, though, right? I mean, without your logo on it.
Yeah, they're not even. I mean, they're heat treated, straightened, heat treat temper, obviously, straightened, and then I grind the bevels however they want to whatever grit they want them finished by the time they get to them.
And they make the handle, or what?
Yeah,
do
and
they
then
do?
they'll finish and they'll finish them out. They'll put their handles on, sheaths, whatever else they got to do, whatever blade finish they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saving them time because most of these guys that are other makers that I'm doing this for, they're sending me like half of the ones that they need done, and while I'm doing my half, they're doing their half, and then they'll have them all to do handles.
Mm-hmm.
It's working out.
How many?
I mean,
yeah, I wonder.
Not.
It's good for you if you like that kind of stuff. There's a lot of people who wouldn't like to do huge batches like that and grinding all those within like a certain time frame. But I don't know that something like that exists here. Maybe it does, and we just don't know about it. It's a lot of knives.
I don't know. I kind of stumbled into it on accident. One of my clients that I do that with, Todd, he approached me because he knew he was going to have an influx of huge batches of steak knives because he's in Vegas, and I was like, obviously, yeah. I mean, money's money. I'm a whore for money. I'll do anything if I get paid to do it. And I thought about it, and I was like, maybe I should just offer that. And I did on the show, and I got a couple hits, and they've done a couple with me, and yeah, waiting on more guys to be like, yeah, I'll just have Ryan grind my bevels.
But what do these people tell their customers? Do they tell them they made the knives themselves?
They're still handmade.
Yeah.
They're just It's like having an employee, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but are they being honest to their customers? Or do they tell them that the bevel grinding was done by someone else, or do they claim that they made it or made them themselves? Do you know that?
I mean, I've done posts with. So I work with Walker Knives. He's also in Maine, and we've done like Instagram posts that we're working together on stuff, and none of the other makers tend to care. It's my clients that are not knife makers, like restaurants, or I do orders for Asian style blade on a website, and they're the ones that always make me sign NDAs.
Mm-hmm.
But no maker has yet. I don't know what they're telling their customers. That's not my problem. You know what I mean? And would they really care? Would they be like, I had this other talented knife maker in Maine grind part of the bevels for me so that I could save some time?
They might come to your shop and buy one of your knives then. So, see what I mean?
I think it's almost
Yeah.
a better selling point if you say right up front what's going on. I mean, why not? Ryan, you're still a knife maker, and like you said, it's not any different than if you were his employee. So why not? I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah. I mean, that part of the deal is not really on my end. You know what I mean? I
Mm.
Of
can't
course,
spend
that's
my
up to
time
your
worrying
customer.
about that. Yeah. I mean, one of the clients I signed NDAs with markets them as if he made them, and the guy does not make knives. So,
Mm-hmm.
Still, that's not on you. That's him. So
right. He words it in a funny way. When I read it on the website, I was like, that's fucking sneaky. Because it's not
Yeah.
like I so-and-so made this. It's like our master bladesmiths. For one, I'm not a master, but that's also on them. I know some makers are listening to this like, what a fucking piece of shit you are. Oh my God, I can't believe you do that. Noah told me in Walker we should be ashamed of ourselves.
I think it's not right to take credit for someone else's work. So if he sells it as his work that he made the knife, right? It's not right because I mean, what he's doing is he's lying to his customer for one thing, and he takes credit for your work. So
We know the difference, but does anybody else really know the difference? Do you think clients are going to care that I cut my blanks out with an angle grinder instead of having them water jet?
no,
You know?
no, but unless you're lying, unless you're telling them that you ground it all by yourself and you haven't water jet, I think it's more of like an ethical thing. Then I think that's what you mean, Albert, right?
yes, it's an ethical thing. Not just that. I mean, I also did it for a guy, and we made almost the entire knife. So we did most of the work. We forged the steel for a start, the Damascus. Then we did all the bevel grinding, heat treatment. We even did the hand sanding and the etching of the blade. Okay. And this guy took pictures. He was a customer of ours. He took pictures from our forge and showed it to his customer that was where he forged the steel and everything. But he didn't know that a third guy also knew us. And so the customer came back to us. So this guy's customer. And he saw our shop and he said, oh, well, that's where this and that guy forged the steel. So where is he? And I told him that this is our shop and that he bought the knife, the finished knife from us, or the finished blade, let's say. The knife wasn't completely done yet. And he asked us what we would charge for such a knife. And I told him what we would charge for the knife, and he paid like 200 or 300 euros more for the knife, right? So he was mad at us. He was mad at the guy who sold the knife to him, because then he could have come to us right away, right? And get the knife from us, and he would have saved like 200 to 300 euros or something. So it was a very uncomfortable situation, because then the guy we sold the the blade to, he called me. He was super mad because I told his customers what we would charge for a knife like that.
Of course
So
you did. You're still
everyone
selling
was
knives.
mad.
It's just
Yeah, so that's that's what I told him. That some dude asked me what I would charge for such a knife, and I of course I can tell him, right?
Yeah.
Just because this other guy charged like 200 to 300 euros more than we would have done. I mean, that's not my problem. That's what I said to him. I'm running a business, or we are running a business here. We are making and selling knives. So why would I lie to a customer or potential customer just to protect this guy who bought the blade from us, right? So why would I do that? I mean, so it's made for a very uncomfortable situation, and everyone was mad at everyone. So it's not that trivial for financial and moral reasons, I would say. So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, that's really shitty. And like this day and age, there's so many. If you're a knife maker, everybody eventually is gonna know. I mean, if you're making decent knives and you're a decent person, everybody's gonna figure out who you are and what you do. And just like that happened to you, where they recognize your shop. I mean, I think it's silly to pretend that it was your own shop and sell it as that. Those kind of people won't last long. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's more, I'm providing a service for other makers who are better at marketing than I am. You know what I mean? And the fact that my name may or may not be attached, I don't worry about that. My main focus is maintaining and getting more clients. You know what I mean? If I try and remove morality out of the business end of it when it comes to that, because there's a lot of, knife makers who are kind of pretentious about knife making. And if you compare it to like what you want to do in business, if you want to be a purely handmade, the old way, one knife at a time, perfect, bro. Not everybody's going to want to do that. You think Montana Knife Company makes every single knife that they make? I'm sure they hire out other people. I don't know that for sure. Josh, please don't sue me. I'm guessing that they, hire out that for if they have a batch that's too big for their capability, and that they're not putting in the advertisement that this one was made here, this one was made this part of the process over here. They're still their branded knives. They're paying for the service, and I think that gives them the right to choose who they want to disclose that service comes from. Does that make sense? Did I word that better? That didn't sound like I'm a shitbag.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
I'm sure that there was.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure that there was pieces and parts along their journey that was subbed out to other companies, but they've grown a lot in the last few years, and they've like built new shops and stuff. And I'm sure that they're working towards being able to do that all on their own. But yeah, it's a more of a production knife than anything. So people have been doing that for hundreds of years. But it's different when you're saying that it's all handmade and you did it yourself. I don't see a reason to lie about it.
Yeah, maybe they just don't want to confuse customers either, or in like Albert's situation, potentially lose a customer. But I'm doing so many batches now. I'm not even. I mean, if somebody wants a custom, I'm gonna take the order, but I'm gonna tell them a ridiculous lead time because I have to sneak it in with other clients. So it's like I'm like not even in that space anymore. It's weird. It just it's like businesses are almost like an entity that just grow on their own, and if you follow the direction that they grow in naturally, things change quite a lot all the time.
That's like an all around win for you though. Making that many knives is great practice. You get some good muscle memory, and you can probably grind out a knife pretty quickly now.
Oh my god, it's unbelievable, dude. If you look at like 5 years ago, how long it would take me to grind, and now I did 80 steak knives. So they're thin. There's 16th stock. I don't know what that is in millimeters for you guys. I'm sorry. And the blades are like 6 inches long. And I did 80 of them to 220 grit in 3 days. So it's not that bad.
Yeah, but you have you're setting world records with grinding now too. What are you down? Like, what'd you say you were at, like 6 minutes a blade or something, or less than that?
Nah, it's longer. With the steak knife, it takes me, I think, 12 to 15 minutes, depending on how well it goes.
That's start to finish.
Start to finish, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pre-heat treatment grind and post-heat treatment grind combined. So some 12 to 15 minutes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I had to get very efficient because we also did a big batch of steak knives. And, yeah, not 80, but only 60. But still, yeah.
Still, 60 is a lot. 80 is a lot. I bust them into chunks. So like on the 80, I put cardstock every 20 knives. So I knew when I hit, okay, that's 20. This 40, I'll take a break, come back in, do the other 40. When I grind bevels, I do all the left-hand bevels at once and then all the right-hand bevels at once.
Yeah, me too. With the exact.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I put it so we have these boxes for 10 knives, and we have plenty of these boxes, and I go into the grinding with 10. So I do it the exact same way than you do it, except that I stop after 10, not after 20. Yeah.
What's the reason behind that? Why not just do the whole thing and then go on to the next one?
Do you mean why we do the left hand and then the right hand? Is that what you're asking? Yeah, because I mean, because you're repeating the same step, right? And you don't have to change. So at least for me, I'm faster if I do it that way. So if I do all the left hand bevels first and then all the right hand bevels, so it's an efficiency thing for me.
Yeah, it's a muscle memory thing.
Yeah,
and when you're doing all the left hand bevels, you're standing in a certain way.
Exactly.
So, and if you have your blanks within arm's reach, you don't even have to move.
Exactly.
You get the bevel where you want it, you throw that blank down, grab another one. Get the bevel where you want it, throw that blank down, grab another one. And I've noticed, so when I start a batch, I'll get progressively faster by not switching sides.
Yep.
So like if the first bevel takes me 2 minutes, I'll be down to 45 seconds by the end of the batch per side, just
Yep.
ripping through them.
And if you do like batches this large, right? If you had to change, like, let's say every second or third or 10th pass, whatever it may be, if this adds up, right? So let's say it takes you like 1 or 2 minutes longer per knife because you have to change sides, then this adds up if you do like 80 or 60, whatever, right? So
To hours on that.
to hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny story, when we do classes, we do the finish grinding, and I do the finish grinding exactly the same. So to do all the left bevels and then all the right bevels, right, in one go. And sometimes students are somewhat confused. So I'm done with the left side of one knife and I take the other one. And students sometimes say, well, you didn't do the second side, so the other side. I said, yeah, I know. I'm going to do it later. So I'm going to do all the left hand, all the left sides first. So you forgot to do the other side. No, did not. I'm going to do it after I'm done with all the others.
Only a handful of us that I've found do that.
Really?
And it blows my mind. It drives Noah nuts because Noah's like, go back and forth.
I'm with Noah. I couldn't handle that.
But he's a one knife at a time guy. Yeah. Me, you now, Albert. We had somebody on the show a couple weeks ago that does it. I can't remember. And Brent from Crosspeen Forge does it the same way. It's the way, dude. I mean, if you don't think you're capable of grinding out that many knives, take the order anyways and just do it.
Yeah.
And do it all the left hand at once. And don't worry about warpage because they straighten right back out as soon as you do the other side. I don't even worry about it anymore.
I was gonna say, if you're doing stainless, would that be a problem?
No.
Or have you never done with stainless?
Of course, all our steak knives are RWF 34. So
yeah, I do tons of stainless. The steak knives I do for Todd are all 1084. But the warpage is, I think people get scared of it and they're like, oh my God, it's incurable. Because if you do the whole left-hand bevel at once, that fucking thing is going to be cocked off. It's very, very noticeable. But as soon as you start evening out the steel on the other side, it straightens right back out. I don't even think about it anymore. It's not even a problem.
I think that's the way to go if you do big batches. I mean, there's no, for me, there is no other way to do big batches. I would go nuts if I had to change like sides.
And don't mix up your steps. Yeah. I do every step all at once. Like if I have to drill all the holes are getting drilled right then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure Paulie would have enjoyed jumping in on that one. He would have had something to say.
He must be sleeping because he didn't even look at my message.
Well, he's got a message for us though. Did you see it already?
No.
I just wanted to say, kilns. Nobody does the ads like I do. Please go to minihell.eu because they have the next kiln for you. Use WF55 at checkout to save 5%. And yeah, it's just great kilns, great prices. And they are sponsoring our show, so hooray!
Even on his deathbed, he's doing ad reads.
Yeah, my wife gets a kick out of Paulie's accent because him and I will voice text each other.
Yeah,
and like voice clip each other when we're talking, and she's like, "Who is that guy? His accent's so funny." Like, that's Paulie. He's Lithuanian. We come from such a small town. She doesn't believe that I'm a worldly man. She doesn't believe that I know people from all over the world. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, I was in my shop all day today, and I had some podcast episodes going, and one of us just came back up, and Paulie was talking about sheaths. And he says shits or sheaths. It's hard to tell what he's saying. It came on, and I kept repeating them all day. I was laughing in the shop by myself like a crazy person repeating Paulie. So I wanted to ask you about a little bit more about the podcast. If you got tired of making knives or stopped making knives, would you still host the podcast?
Oh man, I don't know. Like if I quit making knives altogether?
Yeah, like if you hadn't made knives in a couple of years or something, and would you still want to be doing the podcast or the knife making podcast, or do you do it more for like advertisement?
I doubt it. I doubt I would. I would probably pass the reins along to Noah and have him pick a new co-host and bow out. But I don't really foresee that ever happening. So, I mean, I'm in it now. It's too late to turn back. So,
Are you in it far enough that you're gonna go work for yourself for a while, or are you still gonna
I
keep
haven't.
the day job?
I mean, I'm still on their payroll, but I haven't been there since September, and it's February. So, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Are you going back there, or what's your plan?
My plan is to keep them on the hook as long as I possibly can,
Of course.
and you know, however it works out is how it works out. If this keeps going good and I'm busy enough to not be scared, then yeah, I'll just be like, bro, I don't want to fix fucking chainsaws anymore.
Mm.
But there's also no money in that job. I don't make shit there. It's really
Okay.
easy for me to make money. To make I could sell 2 chef knives and make a week's pay at my day job. So it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah. At some point, it just
Yeah.
doesn't make sense anymore.
right. I mean, and there's like things that I've set up on purpose to kind of be able to do this. Like, they're able to do warranty work because I'm an employee, because I have the certifications necessary for them to do warranty work for certain companies. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
And so he keeps me on the payroll. He's been really good about it. He's been really good about the knives and like seeing me grow it, because I started knife making in my work bay at work. So like my grinder and my first homemade kiln and everything was set up at work for the first 3 years.
Mm.
So like in between jobs, you were grinding knives.
Yeah, or on my lunch break, I'd be grinding, or I'd come in early, or I almost set the shop on fire in the beginning, trying to heat treat out of a tiny metal can using peanut oil. And after that, he said no more heat treating in the shop.
Mm.
I burned the fuck out of myself. It was bad, but it was like first probably 5 knives I ever made. So
Mm.
it's all right. No, he's been cool about it. I'm sure if I text him and was like, hey, I got to be done, he'd be like, cool. Where's the money you owe me? I'd be like, here, you know. So no, he's cool about it. He's seen me grow it from nothing, and I've been very open with him. I'm like, you could just pay me enough to compete with it. You know how I operate, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
So if I found something that I could make more money at, I would probably do that.
But that's an awesome skill to have. Anything that you can do like that, working with your hands, you could, if it didn't work out for yourself, you could fall back on that, or even just do a few repairs on the side at home to make up for any lost money on the knife making, if that became an issue.
Yeah, I can fix and build anything. My wife says I'm an expert at making money, small amounts of money materialize out of nowhere.
Mm.
I just got to figure out how to do that with large amounts of money.
Is she
Yeah.
is she equally as good as making that money disappear? Or?
No, we don't have. We both been married before, so we don't have joint bank accounts. Well, we have a joint bank account, but it's basically like Ryan sends Jessica some money through the joint bank account, so it's just easier that way. But no, my money's my money, her money's her money. So.
I think that's a great idea. No matter how long you guys, and if somebody's been married, separate bank accounts is the way to go for sure.
Mm.
Yeah. I've been married before. I think a lot of dudes are delusional about how much their wife actually loves them. So, you know, you come home from the grocery store and your bank account is empty, and so is your house. It's like, well, you know, it's a wake up call.
Is that experience speaking, or?
Yeah. That's how I
Shit.
got divorced the first time. I went to the grocery store to get stuff to make spaghetti, and I came home and the bank account was empty and she was gone. Now I have to be a whore again.
Shit. Yeah, I think I actually. Do you think you've talked about it before on your podcast? I believe, right?
What, my ex-wife?
No,
Or
that
like-
situation. I think I've heard that story in a little more detail before.
Yeah, I think I've talked about it before. It's no big deal. I don't hold on to shit. Like a lot of people are like, oh, my fucking trauma, and that's not me. I don't hold on to shit. Her and I, we talk all the time. We're fine. It is what it is. I was 22. I'm like, dude, I had no business being married in the first place. I like to get them out of the way, you know.
We are approaching the 1 hour mark already. Is there anything that you want to plug or talk about that you haven't talked about on your podcast or already?
But I've prepared a few questions, Keith.
Okay.
If I
Keep
can
going.
ask
I'm in no rush. If you want to go long, let's go long.
Let's start easy. So it's called Knife Maker's Hot Seat. So few questions, so rapid fire questions. So what's your favorite knife steel and why?
My favorite
Ryan.
steel?
Yeah, knife steel.
Stainless or carbon?
Stainless, let's say.
I like Nitro V a lot. I use Nitro V a lot.
Least favorite handle material?
Oh, stag. Anything organic. Any bone, antler, fuck all that shit.
Because
That's
of
disgusting.
the smell? Okay.
Oh,
why?
yeah, it's horrible.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
gross.
And since we were talking about burning down your shop, what tool or machine would you save in a fire? One.
Oh, I mean, I'd like to say my even heat, but I don't know if I could carry it out.
That's probably the thing burning. If shop's on fire.
Yeah, that's probably what's on fire. Fuck, probably my laptop actually, because my laptop's out here, and it has everything on it. So,
And what do you consider to be an overrated trend in knife making?
mosaic pins.
That's not really a hot take.
It's a fact. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Would you like to buy pins? High quality.
That's a fucking good answer because I thought I could manipulate you into coming up with some hot take.
Does anybody use those things anymore?
I do.
don't see. You do?
You
Yeah,
do.
all the time. Yeah, I do. I even
Don't
make
get
it
me wrong.
myself.
They do look good, but I think the people soliciting them in our DMs have driven us away from them.
That's right. Yeah. But when we do classes, these mosaic pins, they're so popular in these classes. You wouldn't believe. I mean,
All the new guys,
we,
yeah.
we sell
Yeah.
out like all the time. Oh yeah, it's crazy. So that's why we use them, and that's why we have so many.
I have those guys in my DMs all the time, and this one guy was talking about there's a certain like laser process where you can get those shapes. I forget what it's called. Does anybody know off the top of the head? There's a special machine that cuts them. And then they insert that shape or whatever custom picture that you wanted into the tube. So he kept bothering me, the same guy, like repeatedly over a few months. And finally I was like, okay, if you make me a couple of pins, I'll test them out for you. So I'm like, wrote to Huber and to Sid and asked them for their logo. And I'm like, okay, make me a pin in each of these logos and I'll test them out, let you know, and then fucking block the guy. And I sent Huber his pin. It's the Martin Huber logo. And then I sent the other one to Sid with he's got like an S logo. And I'm like, yeah, try these pins out. You guys can have them for free. And I was figuring for like hidden tang knives, you could put them at the butt end instead of a normal stainless screw that they would screw the handle on. Just put that on as a cap or something. And both of them, neither of them have even tried it yet. I think that's the only place or one of the places I think where it would look the coolest. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I prefer composite pins.
Yeah.
Like G10, you mean? They're way easier to sand and get everything the same shape.
G10 and micarta, anything composite. I feel like the epoxy adheres to it better, but that's just me. And they don't end up proud after I grind them because, brass or copper or stainless, especially stainless, is a lot harder than whatever your handle material is.
Yeah.
And I see on a lot of makers that use them like stainless pins and stuff where they get like those burnt halo around the ring because they heated it up too much, got it too hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
There's one maker in particular that does that a lot.
Is there one maker in particular? There's plenty.
Oh, there's a lot of them, but of course that's
I mean,
why
it has, happened to all of us, right? But they ain't that shiny, so that's why we do brass, copper, and mosaic pins, and also stainless.
They do look good though when you can get a mirror polished up. If I'm gonna go with metal, I'll go with a Corby just for the added security. But Corby's are expensive.
Brass or copper is good.
Yeah,
stainless does look nice, like you said, though, when it's all shined up.
Yeah, it does. I forget that you cut out all the dead air in between when we talk.
Don't worry. Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Get nervous?
No, it's just like my podcaster kicks in and I'm like, I gotta talk. Because I don't do any editing on the Hustle and Grind. So
that's like Outlet's dream.
Unless I have to.
It has never happened. So I wouldn't know how it feels like. You seem to have a better co-host, Ryan.
No, it's good.
Our podcast needs a lot of editing.
Noah's really good at wrangling me too. Like that whole me making him uncomfortable on purpose thing. But like sometimes it's not on purpose and I need to be reminded, maybe don't talk about that or don't talk in that way. Noah goes, okay, guys.
Yeah, you could tell. Yeah, I think that happens when you have Huber on.
Yeah.
He's our guest this weekend.
Martin Huber.
Martin Huber. Yep.
Yeah,
Should be a good one.
Trey was a good guest last week. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, we had never had him on before. He's definitely coming back on because he is a riot. Just the phrase, don't yuck anyone's yum.
I had like maybe an hour beforehand written in our group because that meme page that his wife runs, they messaged me and said, I don't even remember what it was about, why he messaged me or she messaged me, whichever one of the two it was, messaged me and said something about that they got bumped from your podcast because he had to like start flight training school again or something. And I'm like, he says, anytime you want us to come on the podcast, me and Chris from ForgeWorks will come on. I was like, yeah, we'll keep you on the list. And then I wrote like into our group, I thought that was Martin Hoover's meme page forever. And so did Albert. Like, I'm like, I thought this was Martin Hoover, but he's definitely not going to flight school. And Albert says, yeah, I thought that was Martin too. And then your podcast episode aired like an hour after that conversation. And he said that it was him and his wife.
I had thought it was Pauly. So I messaged the page and I was like, who the fuck is this? And it's his wife. And she was like, guess. And I said, Pauly. And she said, no, it's Trey from Third Hill Customs' wife. And I almost said that's not possible because women aren't funny. But I'm glad I didn't. Obviously, I don't mean that, but I thought I was talking to Pauly. It turns out Pauly has nothing to do with the page. But we had booked her, and an hour before I was like ready to go in 1 hour, and she was like, actually I can't, but Trey's gonna come on. And I was like, even better. So yeah, it worked out.
So she's going to flight school, I'm guessing.
She must be. I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't ask. This is the first I'm hearing about flight school. They might have said it and I just didn't pay any attention.
Those were funny. That was like right before Christmas, peak knife maker memes that were coming from everybody. They just like died all of a sudden. I think everybody had to go back to work. Holidays were over.
Yeah.
We need it though. We need a good knife making meme page. Did you hear Trey saying she runs, or maybe he said it before the show, but he said that she runs it like the military. Like there's like ranked people in their group chat.
Yeah,
like
it was on your
according
show.
to their contributions and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I would be a private. Because she'd be like, I need 5 memes a week. And I'd be like, the best I can do is 1.
She was at Knife Show Austria last year. I didn't get to talk to her a whole lot, but at Blade Show Atlanta this year, she was at the booth also and talked a little. She's funny. Obviously from the page you can tell.
Nice. Yeah, they were glazing up Knife Talk today.
I always think that's awesome at knife shows when the knife maker is there with their wife, like to help them out. It just seems like more like a family event that they do together, and it's nice that they have the same interests, or at least that she or the other person's wife is there to help them out and back them up and takes interest in what they're doing and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. I was going to get my wife to go to Blade, Texas with me, but our dog can't be left with anybody else.
Vern.
How'd you guess? He's a fucking idiot. I was worried a minute ago you guys could hear him because he was outside baying at something. But he's a good boy. He's just dumb. And he won't come in the house for anybody but me or my wife.
Well, if you come to Knife Show Austria, you can take the dogs with you anywhere. They're allowed all everywhere you go.
Bro, he's so terrified of everything, I'd have to carry him everywhere. He's 90 pounds. And strong as fuck. He's unbelievably strong. But he's a good dog. He's just, his brain don't work right.
Yeah, I always wanted to. We go to visit my parents in the U.S. Every July. I always wanted to take mine with me, a chocolate lab, and she loved the water, and she would have had a ball there because we were right on a pond. But those big dogs, man, I couldn't put it through that. You gotta like get them tranquilized and put them in a cage, like in this underneath the rest of the storage area and the plane and shit. And I think that's too much.
Yeah, I don't like that. I wouldn't be able to do that. Or you have to buy them their own ticket.
I think that only
But-
works for like the little dogs, though.
Oh, really? I mean, Vern's big. He's a coon hound. He's a blue tick. He's probably 90 pounds now. He stands up. He's long and lanky, and his back comes up to my hip. And he's fucking loud, bro. You imagine a blue tick on an airplane? Fucking boo, boo. You know? Do you guys have hound dogs like that out your way?
Sure.
I know blue tick's an American breed, but
What's the normal hunting dog breed, Albert? Here.
What do you mean normal hunting dog? There's so
Like
many.
Yeah, I know, but there's one that like most of the hunters have this breed.
Deutsch Kurzhaar. So short-hair pointer.
Yeah, pointer.
German
That's what I'm
short-haired
thinking of.
pointer.
Yeah.
I have a half pointer. She's a great dog. She's half pointer, half beagle. She's my princess, Princess Georgia. Yeah, pointers are awesome dogs. I think the foxhound comes from Europe, doesn't it?
Think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have any knife shows planned?
I just got my plane ticket for Texas the other day. So
When's that
that's a
coming up?
done deal. I just got to find a place to stay. March 20th.
I think Noah's going to that one too, right?
Yeah, he said he was. I don't know if he has his plane ticket yet, but I was watching the prices and they kept climbing. So I was like, fuck, I got to pull the trigger. I was thinking about doing both Texas and Atlanta, but yeah, I'm just visiting. Yeah. It just doesn't seem, I know the guys that do tables, like it pays off for them, but for me, it's just not worth the hassle. I would rather treat it more like a vacation.
Yeah, the Blade Show Atlanta last year was the first time I went to a knife show as a visitor, and you definitely get to do a lot. I mean, Blade Show Atlanta was huge. And other than the show itself, there isn't really much to do in the area, but it was fun. I don't know. I wouldn't do it like every year. Maybe in a couple of years or something, I'll go back again. But Blade Show Texas would be cool to see. I hear that the surrounding area is much better, like restaurants, places to eat, and things to do and stuff like that outside of the show. Also, have you ever been to the Texas
Yeah, it
one
seems
before?
that way. No, this will be my first time, but I Google Street Viewed and walked around the event center, and it seems like a much better place to navigate. Atlanta is just crazy, dude. It's just such a big city that getting around in it sucks.
It's
Like
spread
I was
out so
thinking
much,
about doing Atlanta this year. Yeah, it's spread out, and like you don't. I mean, there's certain neighborhoods I'm sure in every city you don't want to go into, but in Atlanta especially, like it is a dangerous city. It's not, it's not and the airport is a fucking nightmare. But I was thinking about doing Atlanta this year also, but I would want to be like babied the whole time. I'd want somebody to pick me up from the airport and drive my ass around. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I wish they did it somewhere other than Atlanta, but I know they have like a long-term contract with the Cobb Galleria. So
yeah, we got invited to go. DB Blades asked us if we would go to I can't remember the name of the show right now. Awesome podcast material. What's the name of the Blade show that he's organizing?
I don't know. Something in Australia.
Well, they just had one that finished. I'm looking through the chat here trying to find it. He sends like 15 memes a day, so you got to scroll through a lot of junk to find what he was talking about. He sent it on the other page, so I won't be able to see it. But I think it was in Melbourne, and it's in April this year, so this year definitely won't work. But I'd like to go to Australia at some point. It's a long ride. I found out from Albert. It's like a 12-hour flight or something, right?
No, way more, Keith.
More than 12.
Like, yeah, I mean the flight. I mean it's usually the 20 to 24-hour trip. So
because you got to stop somewhere, right?
I don't know how long the flight is. You got to stop and change exactly. So it's 20 hours at least, I think.
I'm going next year. I'm gonna do it.
Okay, good.
I'll book one for you and Andy too.
If you're paying, we're coming. So
well, I'll have to double the price of your stabilized wood.
yeah, but then it's us who are paying for it. So That doesn't count, Keith.
He said that the flight, I think you mentioned it when we had him on the show, that it was around €1,000.
Yeah, the flight's
Round
not
trip.
too expensive. Yeah.
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 1,000 euros. What's that in American dollars?
Like
It's
900
about the
or something
same,
like that.
I think.
Yeah, it's close to the same.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
not bad. I wonder what it would be for me. Flights. I'll look it up right now as if I'm flying out tomorrow. Bangor to Melbourne. My airport's international. Whoo! $1,500. 2 stops. 35 hours.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
That's like 2 days of jet lag. Just sleep through 2 days and then go to the show.
Yeah, you'd have to extend your trip by like a week just to like acclimate once you get there. But I don't even have a passport, so
Still, though, I
Yeah.
thought you took care of that because you were going to come to it last year too. Well, you guys were talking about maybe coming, and then Noah bitched out to Knife Show Austria.
I got it. Knife shot. I never said I was going. Who said I said I was going? No,
Noah.
I got my real ID. I didn't get a passport.
Yeah, that's right. You
Wow.
guys had to get an ID just to go to Atlanta, I believe, right?
Yeah. So they wanted us to get these real federal IDs. It's whatever. I don't know what's different about it. But, and then you couldn't fly for a while if you didn't have one. And then, like 2 weeks after I got mine, the TSA made it so you could just pay a $45 fee if you didn't have one. I'm like, cool. But whatever. Now I have it.
So I think all that is some kind of a like a FID chip in it or something that has like all your info stored, so people can't like fly under somebody else's name,
Yeah, it's my
something
papers.
stupid like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
same
papers.
kind of thing that's in your passport.
Whatever. Fuck them. I'm excited to go to Texas, though.
What I think it's more of a is it like the no sauce, like a dry barbecue kind of stuff? That's the style.
Oh, I have no idea. I just know it's got to be better than what we've got up here. So it's weird, you know. I mean, you guys know, you've been here. America's huge. So the food regionally is different. And we have really good fake American Chinese food up here. And pizza. We got good pizza. West Coast
Oh.
pizza sucks.
Don't ask Albert about the American food. He was very
No,
disappointed.
don't. Yeah.
Well, you guys have real food. We have poisonous factory bullshit. So what I'm used to eating and what you guys are used to eating is probably totally different.
Yeah.
Albert eats fresh killed deer nightly.
Not
Nice.
nightly. Every now and then.
Nice.
Yeah, but
What was
food quality is pretty good over here. That's right. Yeah.
and the
Sorry,
weird
you-
thing is we all know it and we don't do anything about it. But what was your experience with American food?
I
You
didn't
can be
like
honest.
it.
You won't.
Okay. It was basically fat and sugar.
Yep. That tracks.
Yeah, you ordered the sweet potato, right? I forget where we were. It was the only chain restaurant that we went to over there.
Steak.
The rest of them,
What was a steak place, wasn't it? What was it called?
was it Longhorn or something like that?
Maybe, yeah. Hmm?
And he got sweet potatoes, and he's like, Jesus Christ, even the sweet potatoes got sugar in it. Make it sweeter.
Sugar and cinnamon served with a steak on a sweet.
Yeah,
put on a sweet potato. Wow.
It probably came out of a bag too. Just from experience, it probably was pre-made in a refrigerator, and they put it in hot water to warm it up, and then dumped it into a steam table that has sat there for 6 hours.
Maybe it was bad luck we had.
No, I doubt it. I mean, a chain restaurant, those steaks were frozen 2 days earlier. You know what I mean? So it's not like if it's not a good representation of anything. It's mass produced food that you can realistically cook in your house if you're not too lazy.
Yeah, we even had an apartment, so we could have cooked at home, but we didn't.
I don't blame you. Then you would have had to wash the dishes. But I mean, Longhorn, that's a Darden restaurant. That's the company that owns it. They own tons of restaurants.
There was
Probably
even
3D printed steak.
Yeah, there was even a Hooters right next to or at least on the walk over to the show. But I couldn't convince the two of them to go in. I thought if you were in the U.S., you got to experience it, but They wanted nothing to do with Hooters.
I've never been to a Hooters. We don't have any in Maine.
No, when I went to New England Institute of Technology in Rhode Island for air conditioning, and right next to the college was a Hooters. So that was like the lunch spot to go to.
I think at this age now, I mean, I'm 40 and I have like an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old kid. So I
Yeah,
feel like
that's not right.
I would go in there and be like, this is fucking gross. What am I doing in here?
Yeah,
But I'm not that guy anyway. Strip clubs make me sad. So
it is kind of depressing. Yeah. I haven't been to a lot of them, but there was a friend of ours that was like that, just like what you said. Like he would get sad, and people would talk and be like, "Want to go to the strip club?" And he would flip out, and be like, "No, that's somebody's daughter. That's somebody. It's so depressing, and I'm not paying them for anything." He would flip out.
I don't have like a it's somebody's daughter view on it. It's more of like these chicks are trying to manipulate me into thinking that they like me, and I'm not
Yeah.
cool with that. And I've known some strippers, like went to high school with girls that became strippers. And it's like, it's still, I don't know, it's just weird. It feels fake. I mean, it is fake, but it's not at the same time. I don't know. It's not my jam.
Well, Ryan, Albert, what do you guys think? Is that a show?
Sure.
You got another game planned for us, Albert?
No.
So, for all the people who don't already know Ryan, you are one of the two hosts from Hustle and Grind podcast, and I'm gonna mess your name up so you can tell them what the name of your knife company is.
It's Coakley Knife Company. You can find me on Instagram.
You got an awesome logo now. You just upgraded it.
Yep, I got a sweet AI logo. You helped me out with that because my graphic engineer brother is a fucking bastard and he won't do nothing.
But you've since figured it out.
Designer.
Because you've made one yourself now, I believe.
Yep. I've enlisted the help of Grok. So I'm not afraid of this AI move. Everybody's like, AI. I'm like, I ain't scared. I can fucking kill a Terminator. I ain't worried about it. Robots don't freak me out.
Well, when Albert, when Polly gets better, I'm sure we can have you back on, continue the conversation. He was looking forward to talking with you, but like I said, unfortunately, after a rough weekend of skiing, he got sick. He doesn't get out of the shop very often, so his immune system's kind of shot, I guess. But
he is pale, so
I think that's from all the potatoes, starch, bleaching them out. But anyway, thank you again for joining us. It was good talking to you.
Yeah, Bubba.
And,
yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
we'll talk to
anytime.
We'll talk to the rest of you guys again next week.
Yep.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.